All right, it is still Friday the 13th, January 13th, 2023. I think it's 4:03 p.m. Yeah, 4:03 p.m. and the Benz is finally home. I forget the gentleman's name who brought it on that flatbed, but I'm gonna say he did me a solid getting it over here. You know, I didn't try to start up the engine. I'm just glad to have it here. I need to get on Amazon, use my 10% employee discount and get myself a car cover to put on it. I mean, to be honest, it's really not any more blight than than my other car. In fact, from a distance, it actually looks a lot nicer than the Saturn. But yeah, as you saw in the video before, the inside is trashed. Sure does look nice from the back, other than that little cover used to be right there. I don't even recall what that cover is for, but it's missing. It didn't used to be missing. Oh, so yeah, it's got a lot of dings, and it's just no longer. It's just put a transmission in and fix all the issues with this, and it would be way more money than what it would cost to replace it. And it's all little, well, most of it's little stuff. I don't remember how that got dinged. That's not a very big ding. Yeah, along both doors, I've got all these little dents here. I did that loading and unloading Lime scooters. That's where they smacked against it, as much as I tried not to let that happen. I don't remember if that piece of trim was there or not. But scratches on this side, as you can see, they're rusted. They've been there for a while. That was like that when I bought it. That door's clean. So make some money selling. Actually, both those doors are clean. I'll make some money selling the doors. This scratch in the fender, I believe I did that probably with a scooter as well. The paint was fading on the peeling and fading a little bit on the hood when I bought it. It certainly got worse in the years I've had it. You know, I was thinking it had a nice grill, but it's, you can see that it's less than a perfect grill. Somebody might buy it though. Got nice rims on it. They're kind of dirty, but they'll clean up nice. I feel like I did that, but I don't remember what the heck I scraped against it. Anyway, I made it in one piece. Well, that was kind of awkward. Yes, I was trying to shoot video. Oh, look, the stray cats are like, a new vehicle to climb underneath. That's great. I'm loving that the stray cats are exploring the Benz. You know, and it's probably a completely different generation of feral strays out here since the Benz was here. I forget how many years it's been since I drove that thing, but it's been a while, and it's been quite a while since it's been here. I'm sure I've explained it previously, but yeah, the deal with the Benz is it's just, as you saw in the last video, the last segment I kind of abruptly interrupted. It's quite cosmetically challenged, and the inside is completely stripped. Now, the dashboard used to be fairly nice. That's before the before the stereo got stolen and that got all damaged like it is. It looks like that guy with the Mitsubishi is snagging himself some plywood. That's all good. You know, I fully support anybody picking up discarded stuff to reuse and recycle it. So, much better than just sitting there in the alley getting destroyed and eventually heading to a landfill. The hell is that on the side? side of the sidewalk? I have no idea. So I had other stuff I was kind of wanting to do today. I really did want to go to Costco. I don't think I'm going to get that done. I heard through the grapevine, through a couple people while I was out and about last night, that the Bullock's cocktails did change hands. I'm hoping that Heather is still there right now, bartending. I really wanted to get there sooner, to get there in time for tacos, but and right after I got the Benz, I probably could have, if I'd have been more diligent, I could have got my ass on the road and made it there in time. But right now it's 4:39 p.m. so probably won't be able to make it. And of course, I didn't check the traffic before heading out. That's kind of a fail on my part. But I'm sure at this time of the day, it'd be pointless for me to head over to the Loop 202. Wow, there seems to be some congestion with that guy turning right. I think I'm just going to keep driving straight on up to 40th Street. No, I don't know what he was. Oh, maybe he's waiting for that kid with the backpack that was walking across the street. Anyway, I'm just going to take Paul on over to 40th Street. Really glad to have the Benz home, and as I figured, the plates are expired. They expired sometime in 2021. So, hopefully I don't get any flack from my landlord for having a vehicle parked in the back there that doesn't have current tags. That's why I parked it in the back. If I parked it on the street, it could potentially get ticketed and towed by the city of Phoenix. To park, and I think it's that way in most cities. To park a vehicle on the street, you do have to have current, at the bare minimum, current registration. Now, it doesn't have to be running. There's no way for the city to know if that meter runs or not. And to be honest, I mean, from the driver's side, the Benz looks considerably nicer than my. The Benz looks considerably nicer than my Saturn, just because it's overall a nicer car, even if it is older. The Saturn is an 06, the Benz is an 01. But yeah, I was wanting to go around to show some more of the damage that happened to it. I didn't get around to showing the worst damage, which is on the on the passenger side. I had a woman in a Hummer. I think it was a Hummer, some kind of gigantic SUV that clearly she was unqualified to drive, back into me in the Fry's parking lot over there at Arcadia Crossing. I don't know how the hell their insurance company determined that was my fault, since I was going straight down the aisle and had the right of way, and she backed out of a parking spot. But I didn't have the time or the energy or the money to hire. I didn't have the time or the energy to fight them myself. I didn't have the money to hire a lawyer to have someone else fight them. I mean, clearly capable of. She got booty. Clearly have the. I mean, I could have. I really could have. And I initially started going after them when the insurance company denied the claim. The person who had the insurance. And of course, so many people are like, oh, just get it, take care of your insurance. Dude, it's a 20-year-old Benz. I don't have full coverage on this thing with zero interior. I don't have full coverage on this thing. I've got minimal liability for it. I've got no insurance for that. That 100% should have been the fault of the woman who hit me. It should have been paid for by her insurance. So yeah, that adjuster and that whole insurance company, they're jerks. And karma is real, and hopefully they'll get theirs. Wow, the truck on my left apparently doesn't want to go. Oh no, he's not in the left turn. No, the people in the left turn lane did not go when they had the green left arrow. They're just sitting there. I see so much of that kind of crap. People get to a red light, they're so busy looking at their phone, they don't notice when it changes. Especially at green arrows.
which makes me glad I was not trying to turn left there, because that infuriates me to no end when the light changes and the person in front of me is just sitting staring into space and not going, especially on a green left arrow. Yeah, not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the Benz. I think I mentioned earlier that the most, although I'm not sure if I did it on a vlog or if I did it while I was talking to somebody. Oh man. Probably the most valuable thing on that Benz is the rims. Actually, I remember now I was talking to one of my neighbors at the building there on the corner of 46th Street. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the rims on that vehicle, or maybe I was chatting with my daughter. I don't know. My head's not so on so straight today. But yeah, the probably the most valuable thing on that car is its rims. It's got the original stock alloy rims, which are really nice. They do need cleaned up. They're filthy, but I mean that's nothing. A little brake parts cleaner and some shop towels can't fix up. But yeah, but I got a set of 5. Now they only came with a set of 4 and a donut spare, but yeah, donut spares are pretty much worthless. And when I found out the hard way, taking a road trip in that car, I drove that car up to, and this is unfortunately before I started doing my vlog, so I don't have any documentation of it, but I about had a full-on mental breakdown a few years back due to being locked out of this Google account and not being able to recover it in any shape, way, or form. Now my iPhone was logged into it, my old iPhone, not this iPhone, and it was logged into it, so I still had minimal access, but I couldn't change or recover my password for whatever reason, and I couldn't get. There's a lot of stuff I couldn't get at, and it was just infuriating to me. And the worst thing was I couldn't get into my YouTube channel, and not this YouTube channel. I had another YouTube channel that was associated with this same Google account called Dan the Taxi Tip. And it consisted mostly of, and I've spoken about this channel before, I had just shy of 10,000 subscribers, and I had primarily karaoke tracks, some that I'd authored myself, mostly ones I'd gotten from other places, and did some modification, that were flawed in some way, and I did some modification of them. One that I had an abundance of was there was a channel, and I forget what the heck the YouTube channel was, but they were only putting out multiplex karaoke tracks, which most people really don't know what to do with a multiplex karaoke track. And I know I've explained before what a multiplex karaoke track is, so I don't really want to have to do it again. If you don't know, Google that shit. They were putting them out as multiplex. So what I was doing, and I was doing them mostly to add them to my personal karaoke library that I use for my show, because I'm not really set up to play multiplex tracks without a lot of awkward effort while I play them on my board. And when I'm busy running a show, like, that's just a whole lot more hassle than I want to deal with. So, especially depending on how I have my stuff set up in the given bar. So what I was generally doing is I was basically removing the vocal channel and then just replacing the instrumental channel to an identical file, but making it mono, which, yeah, it's not a lot of work, but yet it is. And did it make it new content? Not really. I mean, if that other channel wanted to come after me and say I was stealing their content, they'd have a pretty legit claim on that. And they're not the ones that complained, by the way. I never had any issues with posting their tracks like that. In fact, I still have 2 on this YouTube channel that I inadvertently posted because I was logged into this YouTube account, into this YouTube profile, and not the other YouTube profile, which was like kind of whoops. So they're both on the same, and I don't even remember how I did that with the one Google account, but anyway, yeah, I was really frustrated. I was locked out of that to the point where, and I just couldn't get any help on the phone, couldn't get any help online, and I was just going batshit crazy from it. And I got it in my head that it would be a good idea to drive to Google headquarters. There had recently been some kind of crazy violence happening at Google headquarters, at the YouTube headquarters down in Southern California, so I didn't want to. That didn't sound like a good idea going there, and I really didn't want to go to California, so I decided the next closest Google offices were in Boulder, Colorado, and I figured it was as good of an excuse as any to take a trip to Boulder, Colorado. Did I have any success with Google? No, I did not. I actually ended up having. I don't think I had a run-in with police, if memory serves, but I do think police are on their way. Definitely had a run-in with security. Yeah, that was overall a pretty negative experience. However, had a very positive experience with Lime on that trip. Went out there, and after everything kind of went sour with Google, and I realized I was just not going to get any customer service from Google, because Google doesn't really believe in customer service. I ended up driving back to Denver, and out of curiosity, I scanned. I opened up my Lime app, and at this point, I was unaware that the Lime app would work in any place other than the market that I was, that was designated my home market, where it was hired, my home market. But just for shits and grins, I rolled up on a Lime that showed was available for harvest, and scanned it, and it just made the happy song that it played when you unlocked a Lime to charge it, which was called harvesting, because they had all kinds of fruit related puns in their stuff. That's why we were called juicers, because we juiced the limes. Get it? It's funny. Gotta harvest the limes and then juice them. Yeah. I did not like being stuck behind this non-service bus. Yeah. I was just absolutely bewildered that I could do that, and it was like, ooh, I think I want to spend the night in Denver and see what it's like doing Lime in Denver. And that's what I did all night, and had an absolute blast. And now I'm trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Oh, because I took the Benz. I did drive the Benz on that trip. I think that was before I bought the Saturn. All right, we had a disabled vehicle blocking the middle lane, getting picked up by a tow truck. Good times. Wow, and the hood's open on the tow truck. Maybe we got a disabled tow truck with a car on the back of it. Gonna send a tow truck with a tow truck. So sucks to be that tow truck driver. So the next step was so anyways, I drove the Benz up there, and was taking a shortcut that I'm really, really fond of. I was thinking that cyclist on the right was going to have the right of way, but it's the left turn arrow from 24th Street southbound onto Camelback in the direction I was coming from. So you can turn right while they're going. Yeah, I just didn't want to cut that guy on the bicycle off. Anyway, on we go. My next left and go across on Missouri. So, oh, where was I? So anyway, there's a shortcut that I really like if I'm going to Albuquerque or any other city that I would go through Albuquerque to get to, such as Denver or Boulder or any of the places where any of my extended family lives in Oklahoma, for that matter. Anyway, fun story about how I found that shortcut, because I was looking at maps and then I did it wrong and ended up driving over what used to be Highway 666, and oh yes, that highway is evil. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, this particular route from Phoenix to Albuquerque involves going through Pie Town, New Mexico, which is a little dot on a map that nobody's ever heard of. And I believe in Pie Town you go north on a New Mexico state highway, which is, to be honest, it's pretty well maintained, but it doesn't have shoulders. It's a narrow little road that gets very little traffic. And as I was driving north on that, and a good solid, I want to say 50 miles south of where it connects with Interstate 40, near, I forget the name of the town. It's the next notable town to the west of Albuquerque. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but yeah, I was literally in the middle of flipping nowhere. There's about 100 miles that you drive, and there's just nothing. Just very beautiful terrain, some very beautiful rocky cliffs on the right, and some neat looking volcanic like rock type formations on the left. And my saving grace on this particular trip was it was elk hunting season, so there were a lot of elk hunters who tend to be very helpful people that rescued me from the side of the road, because I got there and jacked up my Benz, and got the flat tire off, and then realized that the donut spare that was in my trunk was not even the right bolt pattern to fit on my car. Like, why is that in the trunk? So the person selling it can look like they're including a spare, obviously. But yeah, it was like, no, worst. That was rough. And just thank God I connected with just the most helpful hunters, and I don't remember what I gave them. Whatever I gave them for helping me out was not near what their help was worth, but I didn't have much in the way of money on me at the time. And I'm not even sure it was the same people that brought me back out to the car as it brought me there. I want to say Farmington, but I might be wrong. Anyway, so got to that next small town in New Mexico off the I-40, which is not where that state highway connects. It's a little bit west of there, but not far. Like if I would have not had the tire issue with the Benz, I would not have gone through that town. I would have just gone east on the 40, and then from there it doesn't take long to like a Pass Casino, and then bam, I'm in Albuquerque. Anyway, yeah, that was quite the ordeal. But yeah, some hunters picked me and my rim. At least I'd already taken my rim off, and we went to a small independent tire shop. It wasn't a discount tire. There wasn't a discount tire in that small town. A small independent tire shop, and they replaced that tire, and went back to the Benz, put it on, and I was on my way. It was quite the delay in the trip. When I got to Albuquerque, I managed to get a hold of a discount tire, find one on Google. Oh, by the way, there's no cell phone service in that area either. So I was really just at the mercy of, whoever drove by, because that is there is no cell phone service when you go through that long stretch of nowhere across the western edge of New Mexico. But yeah, ended up driving into New Mexico. But I think I had a couple other tires that were, I feel like I had another tire that was like pretty much done and in need of replacement. I really shouldn't have gone on that trip without like taking care of my tires first, and that's on me. You know, that was a mistake. It's not like I had a road hazard. I just had freaking worn out tires. Yeah, I think I got another tire. I got one tire replaced there. Another tire replaced at a Discount Tires in Albuquerque. And while I was there, I went looking online and making phone calls to see if I could find me another matching Benz rim, and I found one at some big warehouse. I forget the name of the company, but basically they handle a large place that handles new old stock auto parts, and they had one brand new in the box, exact rim for my 01 Mercedes. It wasn't cheap, but for what it was, it seemed like a pretty reasonable price, especially since it was there. Like, I'm not waiting for things to be shipped to me. Like, I was on my way to Denver anyway, well, to Boulder. It was actually in Aurora, which is another suburb of Denver, but like on the other side of Denver. Went there, got the rim, went to another Discount Tires fairly near it in Aurora, and got the rest of my tires done, and ended up with matching tires, like matching new tires all the way around. And then the one tire that I got from the tire shop in the small town, which of course didn't match, that one got left on the spare. So great tires on the Benz as a result of that. That was not the plan. It would have been a whole lot easier to take care of that in Phoenix, although the good thing that came out of that is I ended up with a 5th matching rim. So probably the most, it's long-winded explanation. Like, who cares how I got the rims, right? But anyway, that's probably the most valuable thing on that vehicle. Probably worth even more than the motor, because God knows how many miles that motor has on it. Although the motor is a good, strong running V6. So I'm thinking I might get somebody willing to pay to come pick it out of there. Other things that I intend to sell on it, definitely the hood ornament, and the tail light lenses. The headlight lenses are horribly faded. Nobody wants those, I don't think. There's some other trim pieces. I don't know. Let's see what I can get out of it. I don't know that I have a lot of time to spend. Well, I mean, right now I'm in the middle of a 3-day weekend. I haven't seen any additional VET offered, and I got a feeling it's probably going to end up being like that for a while, because business is definitely slowing down at GYR3. Although I did see, for a while, the fresh meat, what I like to call the fresh meat, the new orientation groups of new hires. For a while I didn't see any coming in, and I forget what night last week, but there was one night I definitely saw. It was a smaller group than they normally are, but I definitely saw a group of new hires in the entryway waiting for a learning ambassador to come out, ambassador and manager to come out and gather them and take them to the learning area. So apparently the personnel numbers are getting to the point that they feel they need to hire some people, but yeah, it certainly feels like business has slowed down there in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know, maybe they'll offer more voluntary overtime shifts, but I'm not holding my breath for it. So I need to find something to do to occupy my 3-day weekends of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and did not have the greatest time going out drinking last night, so probably don't want to make a habit of that. Yeah, taking apart the Benz and reselling it on eBay, assuming I still can sell on eBay. I still haven't looked into that since my last issues with not getting. I think it was a CD and a Laserdisc sold, but it didn't get shipped. And I hope those guys got refunded. I try to take good care of my eBay customers. That just was, I don't know. That was just bad timing. I just had too much on my plate, and it didn't and it is 5:03 p.m. So definitely did not make it to the 5 o'clock cutoff time for tacos. Although maybe, just maybe, there will still be some when I get there. If there's not, it's not the end of the world. I'll get something else to eat. And who's to say that that dollar taco deal is still going on? I mean, if Bullock's Cocktails is indeed under new ownership, it's entirely likely that that special got axed. So anyway, I don't know. I don't even know if Heather's still there. She's given me her phone number a couple of times. Never once did I ever manage to get it put in my phone. I feel like a real idiot for not getting that done, because Heather is a total sweetheart and has always been just beyond, over and beyond nice to me and supportive of me. And there are some times where things have been really tough and I've kind of needed a shoulder to cry on, and I think hers would have been there and offered if I'd have called her. So, it's just on me that I didn't. Apparently those guys in the oversized trucks getting angry that I'm not willing to go more than 5 miles per hour over the speed limit in front of an elementary school. Or no, my bad, that's a YMCA. I think I did just pass an elementary school. The way people are driving in Phoenix is just getting so much progressively worse. It seems like every couple months it's notably worse than it was a couple months before. Speaking of people driving bad, so what started my conversation with my neighbor over there at the last building at 46th Street is I was walking to that corner to watch for the guy coming with my Benz, because I didn't want him to get stuck on the I really didn't want him to get stuck on the in front of my place on Oak Street and then have to try to turn around or direct him around the block, because his English isn't very good. I wanted to make sure he was going down the alley, so I wanted to see him when he approached. I didn't know if he'd be approaching from 46th Street or Oak, but I knew he'd be coming either north on 46th or east on Oak. So that's the reason I'd walked out to that corner. Rob had called me to let me know he was on my way with the car, or on his way from, that he had got the car. So Rob had the keys. And now I have the key. Oh yes, it's Mercedes keys are neat. They're these nifty digital fob things. So yeah, so I was waiting there, and I noticed that the corner of that building had a whole bunch of new bricks that were not painted. So I asked the neighbors, like, what the hell? Did somebody plow a car into the corner of the building? And apparently somebody did. He said that there have been teenagers coming at night doing donuts in the intersection of 46th and Oak. I'm generally speaking at work at night, so I haven't been there to hear it. Now, I've heard it happen before in the parking lot over at the Costco, and I can hear it all the way in my apartment when they're squealing their tires doing donuts in the parking lot. But he said lately they've taken to doing it right there at the intersection, and sometimes they lose control, and some fool lost control, so they did a hit and run too. Completely took off, left the vehicle buried in the side of the building. Took off on foot. The police showed up like 12 minutes later. Didn't even bother to look for him. 2 black guys, black hoodies. Yeah, not a really good description. Young. But come to find out, the vehicle was stolen. And buried inside of the building. He says it's been about a month. And so I was like, yeah, well, I'm always driving through at night, and I'm usually coming out the alley and going south. So, but yeah, pretty wild. Anyway, this is the first time I've been back to Bullock's since the day after I was told I was fired. I forget what the date of that was. I was showing those text messages to somebody last night. It's always weird to me when I'm out at a karaoke bar, and it's very difficult for me to go to a karaoke bar anywhere in the valley and not have somebody recognize me. And the super awkward thing for me is, I'd say a good solid 75% of the time, I don't recognize that person. And this woman comes up, it's all talking to me like she's known me forever, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't remember you. Fairly attractive middle-aged woman, blonde, white. I don't remember her name. I gave her my phone number. I did not get hers. She said she's singing at a bar tonight, a bar that's near me. Chopper John's. So yeah, I told her about how I had previously hosted karaoke at Chopper John's. Anyway, she said the last place that she had seen me at was Bullocks, and asked how that was going. So I told her, and then showed her the text messages from the owner, or previous owner, as the case may be now. And she was pretty shocked, especially the way he just, after I explained that, that I didn't answer his text right away because I was sound asleep, and that, I messaged him as soon as I woke up, and that I had apologized for leaving, for not being there and leaving them shorthanded. How he didn't even. It sounded like a gunshot. Hopefully it's a vehicle backfiring, but y'all hear the pop? Anyway, yeah, she was shocked when I showed her that, and how he didn't even respond to that. Like, I mean, not even. I pretty much made it clear, when I responded, and I said that, I saw his message and I was kind of relieved, and that I'd been having some serious depression issues, and I wasn't even remotely asking to come back or anything. So I don't know. I guess he just figured that he was done with me or whatever. But he could have at least, I don't know, at least responded, not completely ghosted me. So anyway, this is my first time back, and as I'm sure I mentioned it in a couple of vlogs. So that night that I didn't show up, people immediately started a rumor that I wasn't there because I'd committed suicide. That's classy, and of course they were laughing about it. Even more classy, even more made me not want to go there. But I really want to see Heather and really want to find out if indeed the bar did change ownership. And this time I'm getting Heather's number and keeping it. Hopefully. And I'm really craving some Bullocks tacos. I'm hoping that's still a thing. Wow, look at panhandlers right in the road. This is ridiculous. Well, I guess he's not a full-on panhandler. He's selling roses, but still, dude, you're in the road. You're in the road, dude. Wow. Like, where the hell is Phoenix? Generally speaking, I'm not a fan of jaywalking tickets, but that guy needs a jaywalking ticket. He's still walking in and out of traffic. Ridiculous. I mean, I feel his pain that he's trying to hustle up some money. It's pretty tight, especially in this part of town. Everybody's struggling with the current economy. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are. But damn, dude, Amazon is clearly still hiring. And if you're going to sell roses, like, find some place where you're not potentially causing a traffic problem. Don't be just walking in the street like that. Oh, shit like that just makes me so frustrated. I have totally turned into the angry old man yelling at clouds, haven't I? So anyway, happy to, wow, little homeless encampment going on right there on top of the overpass. Anyway, I'm very happy to have my Benz back home. I definitely need to order a car cover for it. And definitely one that goes low enough to obscure the expired plates. Nobody makes issue about that. Definitely need to clean out the interior of it. It's a mess. Of course, I need to clean out the interior of this car too. I hate that this neighborhood doesn't have any sidewalks. It's got to be rough for somebody like that. When the people, older people with walkers shouldn't have to be trying to push themselves in the street. They should have sidewalks at the very least. Not only that, we got some oversized pickup truck. Doesn't fit in the parking spot, so this wheel is actually in the street. Classy. Which makes me think there might not be any park. Oh, look at this. I'm getting VIP parking. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nice. Well, I'm here. Thanks for coming along on the drive, and hopefully this isn't a bad or uncomfortable scene.